The most misunderstood teaching of the Buddha, rebirth without a self. Perhaps among all the teachings the Buddha left behind, rebirth is the one that confuses modern people the most. Even those who have practiced meditation, chanted sutras, or studied Buddhism for years sometimes quietly wonder, is rebirth really real? Or is it just a symbolic story from the ancient world? If you come from a scientific education, where everything must be proven by data and experiments, the idea of hell, hungry ghosts, or a soul being reborn can sound like mythology. But if we dismiss it simply because it's hard to grasp, we might overlook one of the deepest jewels of wisdom the Buddha ever offered humanity. In Buddhism, rebirth does not merely speak about death and the afterlife. It is a mirror reflecting the nature of existence itself, and a path that leads us to understand who we truly are. 1. The paradox: rebirth exists, but there is no self to be reborn. This is what confuses most people. The Buddha taught that there is continuity after death, a flow of karmic energy, a new becoming. And yet, he also taught that there is no soul, no eternal self that continues forever. If there is no me, then who is being born? If there is no soul, what exactly continues? This question is not a philosophical riddle, it is a doorway to a higher level of understanding, where we realize that the world is not made of things, but of ever-changing processes. 2. Rebirth versus reincarnation. Similar words, vastly different truths. In Hinduism, people believe in an immortal soul, Atman, that travels from one body to another. Like a homeowner moving to a new house, the body changes, but the owner remains the same. That is reincarnation. But the Buddha denied the existence of such a permanent soul. He taught that nothing is eternal, only conditions that give rise to new conditions. One life ends, yet the causes and tendencies it has created become the seeds of another. No one moves anywhere, there is only cause and effect. That is rebirth, a new becoming based on old causes. A process without a traveler, causation without a self. 3. Who am I? The greatest illusion of all. The Buddha once asked, when you say I, what exactly do you refer to? We like to believe there's a stable, enduring me that has remained the same since childhood, an unchanging identity that persists. But when we look closely, what we call self is merely a collection of 5 aggregates, skandhas. Form, body, a physical structure constantly changing, every cell is born and dies. Feeling, sensation, pleasure, pain, joy, sorrow, all arise and vanish like waves. Perception, recognition, the ability to label, identify, and interpret the world. Mental formations, volition, habit, the forces that drive thought and action. Consciousness, awareness, the knowing that arises moment by moment. None of these is I. They change incessantly, arising and fading, dying and being born again each second. Therefore, I is not a noun, it's a verb. It is not something that exists, but something that is constantly being created. You are not being. You are becoming, moment by moment. 4. The candle and the secret of continuity. Imagine you have 2 candles, candle A and candle B. You use the flame of candle A to light candle B. Does the flame on candle B transfer from A? Not at all. Candle A continues to burn, but through its heat and energy, a new flame arises on candle B. The second flame is not the first, yet they are not entirely separate either. That is rebirth in Buddhism. No soul flies away. There is only the continuation of energy, cause and effect, like one flame lighting another, like one wave giving birth to the next. What is born is not a person, but a pattern of energy, a stream of karma. A momentum of mind shaped by habits, desires, and ignorance yet to be understood and released. 5. Karma and dependent origination. While life continues, every intentional action leaves an imprint, called karma. When we act out of ignorance, we create craving, the desire to grasp, to become, or to reject. From craving arises clinging, upadana, the attachment to me and mine. When death comes, that energy of craving and attachment does not disappear. It continues, forming new conditions for another stream of consciousness to arise, a new life. No soul travels, only cause and effect flow on, like today becoming tomorrow. This is the principle of dependent origination, paticca samuppada. All phenomena arise because of conditions, and when conditions cease, they cease too. There is no self standing apart, only interdependent processes unfolding endlessly. 6. The 3 knowledges, the Buddha's vision under the Bodhi tree. On the night of enlightenment, the Buddha did not merely meditate in silence, he directly perceived the mechanics of existence. He remembered countless past lives, seeing each birth, each death, each relationship. He saw beings dying and being reborn according to their karma. Those who cultivated virtue ascending to happiness, those bound by greed and hatred descending into suffering. Finally, he realized the Four Noble Truths, eradicated ignorance, and ended the cycle of birth and death. Rebirth, therefore, is not a side teaching, it lies at the very heart of enlightenment. Liberation is freedom from this endless cycle of becoming. 7. The middle way between two extremes. In the Buddha's time, two dominant beliefs existed. Eternalism, a permanent soul exists forever. Annihilationism, death is the complete end, nothing remains. The Buddha rejected both. He taught the middle way, continuity without identity, transformation without a traveler. There is no person being reborn, only the ongoing process of cause and effect. That is the profound originality of Buddhism. There is continuity, but not sameness, change, but no permanent entity. 8. The six realms, two levels of truth. When we hear about hells, hungry ghosts, gods, humans, animals, or asuras, the modern mind often hesitates. But Buddhism speaks of two levels of truth. Conventional truth, the realms are real planes of existence where beings are reborn according to karma. Ultimate truth, these realms also represent psychological states of mind. When the mind burns with anger, hatred, and resentment, that is hell within. When greed consumes us and nothing ever satisfies, we live as hungry ghosts. When lost in pleasure and delusion, we dwell in the temporary heaven of distraction. These realms are not distant, they exist in our own minds every day. The world you were reborn into is the very mind you cultivate right now. 9. Rebirth happens every moment, not just after death. Buddhism teaches that you don't need to die to be reborn. Rebirth is happening every second. Each moment, the mind dies and is born again, depending on your choices. When you react with anger, you are reborn into your own inner hell. When you envy, you are reborn as a hungry ghost. When you act with mindfulness, compassion, and understanding, you are reborn into a peaceful realm, here and now. Rebirth is, therefore, an inner journey, a continual transformation through each tiny choice. Every morning you wake up is a new life. Every mindful breath is a new birth. Each time you choose understanding over judgment, forgiveness over resentment, a new life begins. 10. Karma and human freedom. Karma is not a punishment from the universe, it is simply the natural law of cause and effect guided by intention. Whenever we act, speak, or think consciously, we plant seeds. Those seeds become the conditions for our future, in this life and beyond. You are not a victim of fate. You are the author of your story. Each action is a new sentence written. Each thought is a brushstroke painting the world you will live in. Whether or not you believe in life after death, the truth remains. How you live today creates your tomorrow. 11. Live as if you are being reborn every minute. Rebirth isn't something distant or mystical. It happens in everyday life. When you're stuck in traffic, insulted, or faced with loss, you have two paths. One is to react out of habit, anger, blame, sorrow. That is rebirth into a realm of suffering. The other is to pause, take a deep breath, recognize your emotion, and choose understanding and compassion instead. That is rebirth into a new life, lighter, freer, more awake. Every time you choose awareness over ignorance, your heart becomes freer. Every time you let go of an old habit, you renew your karma and redirect your future. 12. Do you need to believe in rebirth to be a Buddhist? Some ask, if I don't believe in rebirth, can I still be a Buddhist? The Buddha answered this clearly in the Kalama Sutta. When the people of Kalama were confused by many teachers claiming different truths, they asked, "Venerable Sir, whom should we believe?" The Buddha replied, "Do not believe because of tradition, scripture, or authority. Observe for yourself. When you know what leads to peace, compassion, and wisdom, live by it." He then taught the four solaces. If there is life after death, the virtuous person gains both here and beyond. If there is none, they still live happily and free from hatred here and now. Thus, whether or not rebirth exists, living mindfully and kindly is always the right path. The Buddha never demanded blind faith, he invited direct experience. Not dogma, not denial, but iapasiko, come and see. 13. 3 attitudes toward the teaching of rebirth. In Buddhist tradition, there are 3 wholesome attitudes toward rebirth. Faith, confidence, trusting the teaching based on intuition, experience, and confidence in the Buddha. Agnosticism, open inquiry, honestly saying, I don't yet know, but I will practice and see for myself. Absolute denial, believing death is the end, considered an extreme view to be avoided. The essence is not belief but the way we live. Faith that breeds arrogance is useless. Doubt that breeds apathy is also useless. But both are noble if they help us live with mindfulness, responsibility, and compassion. 14. Live as if every breath were a new life. What the Buddha wanted us to realize was not a distant universe where souls wander, but the truth happening right here, in every moment of life. When mindfulness arises, when compassion blossoms, when wisdom shines, we touch nirvana in the present moment. As Thich Nhat Hanh beautifully said, nirvana is not elsewhere. It is in every mindful breath, in every step of peace. Rebirth, then, is not a story of the future, but the art of living right now. Each time we awaken from ignorance, we are born again, into freedom and clarity. 15. The conclusion. Don't worry about belief. Live as if it's true. Do not worry about whether rebirth is real or not. What matters far more is how you live each moment. Live as if every action, every word plants a seed for the future. Live as if every choice creates a new lifetime. Live as if your mind and compassion shape the entire universe. When you live like that, whether there is another life or not, you have already freed yourself from suffering in this one. The Buddha never asked us to believe. He simply invited us to live differently, and to see for ourselves. When the mind changes, the world changes. When the self is released, true rebirth begins.
Thank you for watching until the end of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to watch more interesting videos.